Jake here with a random rant for you from the Big Rant Show. Have you ever noticed that the people in the NFL seem to get a free pass for a lot of the crimes they commit? You had a receiver a few years ago. I forget his name, but he ran over a guy. I believe killed him in a car accident. Just totally just didn't even pay attention and ran him over. But then you get to people like Ray Rice and other people with domestic assault charges and stuff like that are allowed to keep playing no matter what they do. You know, Ray Rice was allowed to, come back if he could have found a place, but he couldn't find a place to play. No one would take him. But you got people like Johnny Manziel too, who I supported for a long time coming out of college from A&M, and I was hoping one day he'd play for the Dallas Cowboys. Well, that's obviously not going to happen, especially now that there's the reports that he had physically assaulted his girlfriend. Now there's apparently video proof that he did such. I hope Johnny Manziel never plays again another down in the NFL, and I hope he's kicked out indefinitely, and I hope he's never allowed to return, because hitting a woman as a man, you're not a man. If the only thing you can do in life is hit a woman, then you don't deserve to be playing, making millions of dollars every Sunday. And that's just how I feel. We let this slide for so many years where nobody really cared. It stayed in the dark, but now you can't keep it in the dark. The can's been opened, and once the can of worms is opened, you can't stuff it back in. The sheet has been pulled off the NFL, as it were. We can see that a lot of these men are terrible people that hurt people, murder people, beat women, beat their children, like Adrian Peterson did, supposedly spanking. Well, I was spanked as a child, and I never once had to bleed for getting a spanking. There's a difference between beating your child and spanking your child. But you should never hit a woman. You just shouldn't. It's not right. It's wrong, and that's just how I was raised. And I think that's generally how most men are raised, but sometimes you're not raised in that environment, and sometimes you just don't know, or sometimes you just don't care, and it's just wrong. The NFL needs to get rid of all the people that are doing this. I'm not saying that there's evidence, or somebody says they did it. There needs to be evidence that they did it. There needs to be proof. It's not right to ruin somebody's career when sometimes these things don't even happen, and some women will sit there and say, "Oh, it didn't happen," months after the fact, after the person's already kicked out of job, out of work and everything. But I really think if you've been charged with, if are charged and found guilty of domestic violence and you're an NFL player, you should be kicked out of the league indefinitely. Of course, I think that should be the case for a lot of people. I don't think it should just be in the NFL. It's major league sport, major sports in general, as well as everyday people. I mean, if you're going to get charged with domestic violence and you get found guilty of it, then it's very likely you should lose your job, at least pending the completion of an anger management course. The people in the NFL are supposedly supposed to be role models that younger men can look up to, but that's not the case anymore. You can't really look up to them because what are they out doing? There's very few, it seems like, in the NFL that are good, upstanding people. And every time you think a certain person is an upstanding person, they go off and rob a store, or they beat a woman. It's not right. It needs to stop. And the NFL needs to be more steadfast in their rulings and in their punishments for these said crimes. But they're not. They don't care. They're like, oh, Adrian Peterson beat his child, caused him bleeding, hit him in the genitals and all this stuff. And the NFL's just like, oh, a few months later, oh, Adrian Peterson can come back and play. But that's fine. The reason these rules won't be any more severe than they have been is the simple fact that these players like Adrian Peterson, Ray Rice, even back when Ray Lewis was tied to a murder, back when he first entered the NFL, really, they make too much money for the NFL. They make too much money for the networks as well. So why would they kick them out of the league indefinitely? These people put butts in the seats, and it's always going to be greed over people every time, and that's just how it works, and that's a really sad state of affairs, but it is how it is. Guess see y'all down the road. You like the content, please subscribe for more, and have a great day.